Oh, well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus. Again, this morning, this Monday morning, a beginning of a new week, a beginning of another approach of trying to be instrumental in waking America up to the beauty of her life if she will awake. You know, we're going on with some strange things that's been happening for quite some time here in America, especially when it comes down to the treatment of people of color or minorities here within this country and perhaps all over the land, all over the world, really. And the truth of the matter is, the thing that happened in America several months ago that brought attention to the world about the abuse of man-made power, and it was exhibited in the killing and the murder of George Floyd here in the state of Minnesota, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And people were talking about making some changes in police training, police tactics. They've been talking about that stuff for months now. And whether you know it or not, black people and minorities are still continuously being killed by cops. So whatever they were talking about doing, either they aren't doing or it isn't sufficient enough to deal with the problems. Most recently, while this here trial is going on, right here, right now, Chauvin, the police officer who murdered George Floyd, he's on trial for this murder. And right in the neighboring suburbs, there's another gentleman that was just killed. Just murdered, named Dante Wright, a 20-year-old young man, killed by a cop for really no reason at all, except perhaps he was black and he did not listen to the white man, the power with the gun and the law in his hand. And so it got him killed. It is absolutely pathetic, ladies and gentlemen, that things keep right on going on. This is right down the street. One officer is being prosecuted for murdering George Floyd. Right down the street, another cop just killed another black man. And here over, we just saw in the news where a military lieutenant was accosted by some police officers, guns drawn on him, pepper sprayed, and all of this for why? For one reason, because it was a white man who had a gun on his hip or in his hand and the power of the law behind him, and a black man asking questions rather than saying yassa boss and doing everything, and he ended up getting his life. Well, not getting his life, but feeling threatened that he might lose his life, and his uniform did not protect him at all during this moment in time. This is what's going on in this country. And we are having political squabbles about what rules and regulations should be passed to govern these people. You got one side saying we should take back this, another side saying, well, we should do a little bit more. All of this going on, ladies and gentlemen, at a time when you got half of the nation thinking that the other half of the nation is the devil. And people who, put it this way, be bluntly, Democrats look at the things that Donald Trump has done and listen to how the Senate, the Republican conservative Senate, gave him a pass on everything. They just think this is from the pit of hell. And yet, you turn around and you watch Donald Trump's people, and they'll look at the Democrats and say that they think they are from the pit of hell. But you ask yourself, what have they done to make you think that they're from the pit of hell? They seen Donald Trump. They seen Donald Trump whip the people up into a frazzle to make them want to take over the nation. Take over the nation and rule the nation by force. And put aside the fact that these many states now are trying to pass laws that take away the voice of the minority through the voting process by making it so complicated for them to vote till they really have no power. This is one thing. But they were, a few months ago, trying to take over the country and rule it by force. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what else do you need? How bad can it get? It can get worse. But do you want to give it a chance? Now is the opportunity for you to appreciate the fact that the only power is the power that you can't see. Because it doesn't matter whether you're black or white. Let me tell you something. When I get stopped by a cop, my greatest fear is that it's going to be a black cop that's stopping me. You'll be surprised how, this is not just white people. It's the system, my friends. It's the system. And if we don't change the system, we think we can get around without changing the system. When I see Dante get murdered over there in Brooklyn Center, when I see this happen and the people come to the streets with the signs and start protesting, wait a minute, we got to stop this protesting every time somebody gets killed and stuff like this, because this is going to keep on going. We're going to get tired, we get beat, we get worn out hitting the streets talking about this crime against the people, this crime against the people, or this crime against the people. We get worn out. Look how white my hair has gotten. I remember being a young man doing the same thing in the streets, talking about this and that, same old this and that. Now I'm white-haired. You know, what am I doing? Sitting there talking about this and that. It hasn't changed at all, gotten worse. So as an elder, I'm saying to you, the people who are younger, this stuff is not going to get any better. I don't care what lie is coming out of the mouths of this politician or that church. I don't care what is coming out of their mouths. It's not going to get any better unless you decide that it will be better, because you're going to make it better. And how can you do that? You can't put your trust in the white man. I don't care if you are white. You can't put your trust in a black man. I don't care if you are black. You can't put your trust in men. I don't care if you are men. You can't put your trust in women. I don't care if you are women. You can't put your total trust in human beings. I don't care if you are human. You got to put your trust in the source of your life. And you can't even see that power. But you know you here. And all the other things are here by a power that you cannot see. So I would recommend, ladies and gentlemen, that power that you see as the God of your life, you allow that power to live in you, and you become a physical manifestation. Don't let nobody talk about, I don't see that God. Show the world that God. And this God better not have a gun in his hand. This God better not have racism in his mouth. This God better not have hatred and bigotry and filth in his mouth. Because that God, we know of that God. We've been living with that God all our lives. So this God better be a God of love. A God that says that all people are just as wonderful and as deserving as you. And whenever you find that you're running across an indication of a God that's trying to lead you in a different way, then you look to someone else to teach you the way of love in that regard. It is time for us to stop talking, ladies and gentlemen. Stop running in the streets when somebody gets killed. This stuff is going to continue to happen. Run in the streets for one thing. Change the system. Nobody's got to die for us to do that. Nobody's got to be homeless for us to do that. No one has got to be denied education for us to do that. That happens. And so all we got to do is get in the streets and change the system. The system must change. To do what? To make sure that everybody got a career that they can love doing, so they can participate in the creative process of those things that are essential to make sure that none of us are without food, clothing, or shelter, that none of us are denied education, that none of us are denied health care. Not only that, that we have the best that humankind can produce. No more producing this stuff for half the price for poor people and a different price for, no, make everything good so it can last forever. Get rid of this junk cars that last for a minute. Get rid of everything that's half-stepping. Clean up all of these cities, clean up all these towns, get these streets in these cities looking pristine, get these bridges sparkling nice, get these highways and byways looking good, get these ghettos all, I don't know the word to use, rebuilt. It's time for us to live, ladies and gentlemen. We got stuff to do. We don't have time to be out here fussing with each other, hating at each other, trying to see who can raise this money, who can raise that money, trying to see who is more important. Every last one of us are important. And every last one of us got a responsibility in this life. And every last one of us ought to get busy about doing it. So I'm asking all of you folks in the churches, out in your businesses, I don't care where you're at, I'm asking every last one of you to wake up and let us change this system. And let us change this system for the best that it can be. A few months ago, somebody could have taken over this country, used the military, taken over this country, been whooping our heads with guns, making us do stuff we thought we'd never do. That's how vulnerable we are to the satanicness of humanity. So let us switch it around, ladies and gentlemen, and let us introduce the God of love to this nation. I don't care who you are, white, black, men, women, short, tall, American, and anybody else. Let us all introduce God to this world. And I'm talking about a God of love. Now, am I the only one? God forbid. Until next time, Eddie Marcus.